Hey everyone, Admiral Prince Eric and welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, I would like to go into discuss about the upcoming Dockyard Event. It's a Tier 9 Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo. Before I would like to get starting on, so don't forget to like, subscribe and click the bell notification icon so I will post my World of Warships contents in any order. Okay, so let's get started about this. The upcoming Dockyard Event Almirante Oquendo held for the next update in August 2024. Okay, so let's start off the showcasing the Dockyard. Let's go. Guys, just have to be to wait for a loading because seems what could be going slow. Okay, here we go. Okay, construction of Almirante Oquendo. This time, Spanish cruiser Tier 9 Almirante Oquendo is being built at the dockyard. Almirante Oquendo is a heavy cruiser armed with 12 powerful 203mm guns that are capable of dealing significant damage per minute. Her high speed provides good maneuverability, compensating for her relatively weak armor protection and large size. The cruiser's alternative fire mode allows her to fire significantly more accurately at the cost of a longer reload time. Okay, so we got the main battery salvo deals heavy damage, a high top speed, and modified shell's alternative fire mode available. Hey, let's see right now. So as you can see, this is going to be base 5 because I'm doing off recording for doing the Dockyard public test combat missions and so forth. Okay, so let's see on the event rules. Okay, so the shipbuilding process comprises 20 shipbuilding pages. You can process those shipbuilding pages by completing Dockyard combat missions or spending doubloons. You can attain Tier 9 Almirante Oquendo only upon completing any 2 paces by spending doubloons. If you continue to complete Dockyard combat missions after you have built Almirante Oquendo, you also receive 250 steel instead of each additional page. Some starter packs are available for discounts and as well as well-deserved rewards. But the good news is you obtain reward a Tier 6 German light cruiser Leipzig will be available at 11 shipbuilding pace. Okay, so here we are, so page 6 right now. So I'm going to explain what was going on with the rewards. The first page you get 1 million credits. Second, we got a 7 days of Warship premium account. The third page we are bundles of signal flights. The fourth is going to be a 500 steel. The fifth is 1 million credits. The sixth is going to be a Spanish cruiser commemorative flag. But as always I can do, if you already have on this commemorative flag but you receive a compensation. No, this Spanish cruiser though that you might recognize on this debut last year for Spanish cruisers in early access. The seventh one is going to be a some economic bundles. The 8th is going to be a 10,000 gold. The 9th is a 500 steel. The 10th one is a 7-day Warships premium account. So on the 11 shipbuilding pages, you will get instantly reward a tier 6 German light cruiser Leipzig. But if you already have Leipzig in your now port, you receive 2 shipbuilding paces as compensation and automatically complete the corresponding number of shipbuilding paces. The 12th is going to be a 10,000 gold. Some 13 shipbuilding pace, you get another additional rewards for economic bonuses. 14 is 500 steel. The 15 is 25,000 free HP. So 16, we got a 75,000 elite commander HP. Next one is the 17 shipbuilding paces, you get another one of the economic bonuses. The 18 is a 10,000 coal. The 19th one is going to be another 500 steel. And the 20th shipbuilding paces, that is a final reward, a tier 9 Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo. I'm going showcasing right now in this ship, but this is a public test, but it will be available for live server starts in the next update on August 2024. But if you're gonna obtain another shipbuilding paces, you receive 250 steel. So let's get started for these rewards, and I'm gonna see the illustration of the process of the dockyard ship Almirante Oquendo. So let's take some rewards and we're gonna go on continue. Okay, the cost of the shipbuilding paces will we have at 2,000 doubloons. So accordingly, the starter pass will be cost 3,000 doubloons. So you will always to buy starter pads immediately before you can start proceeding through these Dockyard combat missions. Okay, so the 2,000 shipbuilding pages for the total of 20th one will be immediately 40,000 doubloons. So here we go. So I'm gonna use for now the doubloons, about 24,000 doubloons. So you get something rewards. Okay, so the background of the Dockyard event took place in the same as usual like the previous ship Michelangelo took place. But it's also note that Fad is waving a Spanish flag. So the Dockyard port on the background is usually located is Genoa, which is located on Italy. Okay, so I will tell you now about the Almirante Oquendo. Before you begin for the Dockyard combat missions, that we will always do that for applying starter pads, but you have to cost per doubloons. But the Dockyard combat missions starts on the next update, but it will be available in the update 30.8 for World of Warships anniversary 9th. The World of Warships 9th anniversary. But it will be unavailable for update 30.9 until the update 30.10 will be conclusion for the Dockyard event. Okay, so basically about the upcoming Dockyard event, we'll be reminiscing is like a Wisconsin, the previous Dockyard event. So back in the day, in the update 30.5, you always have to save doubloons around the corner, and you will buy immediately 2 shipbuilding pages for doubloons without starter packs. Okay, so here it is. The hull of Almirante Oquendo is now officially launched. I hear the dogs in the port. Wow. So here we are, and also we got a showcase, a permanent camouflage for Almirante Oquendo. So there you have it, the Tier 9 Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo. Okay, so let's take a screenshot. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe the so don't forget to like and click the subscribe button. So we're gonna get started about the shipbuilding process for the beginning about this ship. So let's get going. Here is going to be the laydown of the Almirante Oquendo. So the decks of Almirante Oquendo is complete. So the only thing now is to complete construction of the bow and stern. And some turret bar beds are already on the way for installation. Looks like it's going to be a finishing touches for the hull. There you go, the hull of the Almirante Oquendo is complete. So the ship was now already fitting out. I hear the dogs barking. During the ship's fitting out, they already proceeded to installation of the turrets, the ship funnels, and the ship command center. The installation of the secondary battery turrets, the installation of anti-aircraft guns, the ship's mast, the ship cranes is available, lifeboats completed and installed, some other auxiliaries, the radars installation, aviation facilities, we got them. And so that's completed construction of the Almirante Oquendo. Okay, so I would like to kind of personally about the showcase on this ship Almirante Oquendo. Okay, let's go forward. Okay guys, I'm finally back on our port. So let's talk about the showcasing about the Tier 9 Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo. But unfortunately, I can't have my own gameplay because of this is a public test server. Okay, so the year of design was 1947. A heavy cruiser with a displacement of 17,500 tons, embodying the Super Washington design known as Proyecto 138, or simply English Project 138. The design was developed in 1938 at the Spanish Naval Shipyard in Ferrol. Under one of the draft designs, the ship's primary armament comprised 12 203mm guns. However, such an ambitious project for Spanish shipbuilding would never come to life because of the country's economic following the devastating Civil War. Okay, so here we are, the Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo in our port, but with also a war paint camouflage. We look like a feature in this permanent camouflage. We always have a seal is available, and is also at the stern of the ship. We got a name, a ship name. Wow, this is looking nice. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the ship Almirante Oquendo. The ship was named after the Spanish Admiral Antonio de Oquendo y Zandategui. Was a Spanish admiral that took command in the 17th century. He was in command of the Spanish forces at the Battle of the Downs. He was born on October 1577 at San Sebastian, Guipuzcoa, in Spain, until he died in June 7, 1640 at La Coruña. Okay, so the previous ship about the name Antonio de Oquendo. We got a Spanish cruiser Antonio de Oquendo that took part in the Spanish-American War. So unfortunately, he realized for that in circumstances that she was sunk during the Spanish-American War. Okay, so let's talk about in the game about this ship, a tier 9. So let's talk about the armor layout. So the armor layout consists from 16 to 177 millimeters of armor. We got something, the armor belt is 14 millimeters. In the casemate armor is about 27 millimeters. The plating is always 16 millimeters. The barbed armor is about 177 millimeters, the highest of its penetration armor. The frontal plate is always at 152 millimeters of armor. The fore end and the aft end consists the 25 millimeters of armor. Okay, so let's talk about the schematics on what could possibly be the ship's citadel. As you can see, the deck armor is about 18 millimeters. The torpedo bulkhead is 30 millimeters. But be careful about the ship though. It is always that much. It will be consequential about the citadel hits by enemy ships with a high caliber guns. So do not take on the broadside when you play this ship. Okay, so the survivability comes at 48,300. The torpedo protection is about 16%. The main battery will be a 203mm 15 Mark 9 on a Mark 3 mounts. We got a 4x3 203mm guns. The reload time is 13 seconds. The minimal shell type switching time is about the same reload time. 180 turn time 22.5 seconds. Dispersion is about 154 meters. The range is about 17.6 kilometers. The high explosive shells consist 203mm HE 256 ILB. The damage is about 2,850. The initial velocity is 840 meters per second. Chances of cause of fire 17%. And armor penetration capacity 34 millimeters. The armor piercing shells, we got the 203mm AP 256 LB Mark 1. The initial velocity is, the parameters is same. The maximum damage is about 4,500. Okay, so the modified shells, we got the maximum main battery shell dispersion is about minus 20%, but you will get the longest reload time is about 42.3%, if any chances to fire some burst fire scenario. Now the secondary armament, we got 19mm 15 model 1939 on the twin mount. So the reload time is about 4 seconds, range is about 7 kilometers. The ammunition 19mm Pro 80 HE shells. The damage is about 1,300. Initial velocity 860 meters per second. Chances of cause of fire, we got 5%. Armor penetration capacity is 50 millimeters. So the torpedo armament is the 533mm triple 2x3. It has the parameters of the following: 108 turn time 7.2 seconds. The reload time is about 106 seconds. And the next one is the the torpedo ammunition the torpedo armament 533mm Mark 8 ES. The range is about 8 kilometers. Maximum damage 16,633. Speed is 62 knots and detectability range 1.3 kilometers. But you can always for that is going to be a close range against enemy ships. Despite whatever, watch out for the broadside. You get a massive loss of HP. The air strikes is always using the depth charges. The Focke-Wulf FW200 Condor. They are 2 attack flights. It has the following parameters. The reload time 30 seconds. They got 2 available flights. Number of aircraft in attacking flight will be 1. The aircraft HP is 2000. Range is about 7 kilometers. The armament is 650-pound depth bomb. The bomb's payload will be always 2, and the bomb damage is about 4,200 when you suggest to strike enemy submarines underwater. The air defense consists the air guns 20mm 65 model 1939 on the model 1939 mount. They got 20 by 1. Next, the air guns 37mm 54 model 1938 on model 1938 mount 16 by 2. Last but not least, the air guns 19mm 50 model 1939 on the twin mount, but it was also used for a secondary batteries. 6 by 2, as always the same caliber. The continuous damage is about 325. We got damage by shell explosions 1260. Priority sector reinforcement is 50%. The firing range is about 4.6 kilometers. So be careful for that. You select priority targets on approach enemy aircraft coming from enemy carriers. Do whatever you best for important suppressing fire, whatever they do. The ship's maneuverability we got a maximum speed 36 knots, turning circle radius 790 meters, and the rudder shift time 11.3 seconds. And the last but not least is concealment. They got a detectability range by sea is 14 kilometers. Range by depth from 0 to 10.5 kilometers. Detectability range by air is the 10.5 kilometers. And assured detectability range we got 2 kilometers. So basically it means there will be no upgrades and commander skills for the while. So I will show you about the camera rolling pans out for the main battery and the secondary battery. So here we are, the 203mm 50 Mark 9 on the Mark 3 mounts. Second one is the 19mm 50 model 1939 on the twin mount. 3 on the starboard and 3 on the broadside. Torpedoes, we got 533mm triple is placed on the midship sections on the starboard and broadside. The air defense, the air defense we got 20mm 65 model 1939 on the model 1939 mount. But it was always mentioned about the Spain was in supply from Italy. Next, the 37mm 54 model 1938 model 1938 mount. Last but not least, the secondary batteries comes from. Okay, so how you like my first impression tour and showcase? So don't forget to like the video. Now I will gonna explain on this equipment. So Almirante Oquendo, we got a the ship has 6 slot upgrades. So I will do select my best recommendations wherever they can and whatever they do. The first slot is using the main armaments mod 1. The second slot is always determined about, you know about the Spanish cruisers on the Tech Trito that will always take care of the engine room protection. If any suggest to do to avoid incapacitation of the rudder shift and the propulsion. The third one is always priority of the Spanish heavy cruiser is aiming systems mod 1. The fourth slot is always for Spanish cruisers coming from the territory is a prop mod 1. Or rather they want using the steering gears mod 1. The fifth slot is always to do for a concealment system mod 1. That Spanish cruisers on the territory coming from should retake the best recommended upgrade for Almirante Oquendo. Finally, the last but not least, the main battery mod 3 is the taking recommendations for this ship, and just like from Spanish cruisers on the territory. Now, they got consumables are the following. So we got a damage control party will be a limited number of charges. Repair party. Next one is the exchange between the defensive A5 and hydroacoustic surge. Last but not least is the spotting aircraft and the catapult fighter. It's always whatever they do for. Now, one of the features of the Spanish heavy cruiser Almirante Oquendo is a modified shells. We got to know about the modified shells. It's the same similar manner about the Spanish cruisers starting from tier 7 Asturias. We got different characteristics from conventional shells. We got a maximum main battery shell dispersion is about minus 20%, and you get a main battery yield time is about increases 42.3%. That means when it comes to the burst fire ability on this ship, that it will be a long reload time, just like the super cruisers though, especially the Spanish cruisers on the territory. Be careful for that to take an honest shots about this. So, okay, when you click about the modified shells, where you can see the color changes about the high explosive shells and the armor piercing shells. So let's talk about the high explosive shells on the modified shells. They got an increases reload time when you use the burst fire. You get a 21-second reload time. That was a long reload. The maximum main battery shell dispersion is below 100 meters. Now, for the armor piercing shells that you use the modified shells, but if you get a reload time is going to be the same, as well as the maximum main battery shell dispersion. But think honestly for that, these modified shells is gonna featured in the Spanish cruiser Almirante Oquendo. That was same similar characteristics from Spanish cruisers territory. So be honestly about that in this ship that was going to make feature. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to talk about the commander skills. Okay, so the first thing first, the ever to do. So the first 10 skill points for cruiser is always the grease the gears or expert marksman, demolition expert, adrenaline rush, and the concealment expert. But cruisers always concealment expert. You will get a decreases a detectability range by sea as well as the air and the depth and the depths. Next one is to do for a top grade gunner. You always do for a top grade gunner for to do whatever they want for the burst fire shells accommodations for Spanish cruisers. Next, superintendent. The superintendent is very important. Why? Because it's going to make increases charges of the repair party consumable. Next one is survivability expert. Survivability expert is very important in this Spanish heavy cruiser though. But I will go forward about the top tier Spanish cruiser Castilla at the time. But honestly, I will use it for that, the survivability expert to Castilla for a live server. So last but not least is the last stand. So the last stand is a mostly recommendation for Spanish heavy cruiser. Is going to be sufficiently when you manage to survive for propulsion at a rudder shift time, a rudder shift. So that concludes about the Dockyard Event impressions and the showcasing of the Almirante Oquendo. So I would like to see up ahead the on YouTube about the Almirante Oquendo gameplay by community contributors on North America server. So I was looking forward to it before the update update 30.7 is about to launch. Took place on August 2024. So I will hope you guys about taking my first impression of the Dockyard event as well as the showcasing of the Tier 9 Almirante Oquendo. So that concludes about in this video. So thank you guys so much watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification icon, and always do about my releasing my contents on World of Warships for a gameplay as well as the showcasing ships. So good luck to all players, do whatever they want for Almirante Oquendo. So thank you guys so much watching, and I hope you see you in my next video. Peace out, guys.